Hi everyone, welcome back to my craft room. If you're new to my craft room, then welcome. Today we're going to be working on these little porcelain plaques that I found at Dollar Tree. I thought these were really cool. They all have like a little stand on the back here, and they're like a porcelain finish on the front. So I have that one, and I have this other one here, like it's not quite square, it's more of a rectangle. They're not really calling these anything, but anyway. They all stand up really nice, so I thought these would be perfect to do some decoupage on, and then I have this round one here. Now on these two here, what I did was I painted on a really thin coat. I just took a brush, a little bit of the Mod Podge, and I just smeared on a real thin coat of the Mod Podge. Now you don't have to do that if you feel comfortable trying to decoupage on the porcelain finish, but sometimes this stuff it can be really slippery, and it's really kind of difficult to keep your images, you know, exactly where you want them while you're trying to paint them on there. So that's why I do that, but I know some people don't bother doing that. And for these, I found all these napkins. Now some of these, I can't tell you where they came from. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to kind of guess. Now these I know I ordered off of Amazon a couple of years ago. I don't know if they still have these or not, but these are really cool because you can cut out all these little different images, and that's the one I'm going to use on here, and I'll show you how I cut those out here in a second. And then these, I have these napkins here that someone had sent me, and I'm pretty sure these came from the Christmas tree shop. I don't know when, but you can always find pretty napkins. It doesn't necessarily have to be these, but you can find them on Amazon, you can find them on Etsy. There's a lot of Etsy sellers that sell like 2 or 3 of the napkins pretty cheap. It's not too bad, you know, if you don't want to buy like the whole pack of napkins. You can buy them on there for just a couple. I know on eBay you could get them. There's all kinds of places. I find a lot in my local grocery stores too. So I'm going to use that one on here, and I thought this was great so I don't have to paint the background. This will pretty much cover up the whole plate. So we're going to do that on this one. And then on this one I have these cute little kitties. Now I'm pretty sure I got these on Amazon a couple years ago. I'm not sure. These may have been some that somebody sent me. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I have so many napkins now, I just don't remember where they all came from. But like I said, you can find these anywhere. Just kind of look them up on the internet and you can find lots of really pretty things. Now what I did for these is I took off the other 2 plies of the napkin. It has these white backings on them. On all these napkins you're going to want to get down to the 1 layer of napkins. So usually these come off pretty easily. Sometimes you can take a piece of tape and pull them off that way. But this is a 3-ply napkin, so you want to get all of your other sometimes the edges peel off really easy. This one's coming up. I just can't get a hold of it with my fingers. There we go. You just want to peel all these other layers off so you're down to this nice thin 1 ply of the napkin. And that's how I do all my decoupage, with just the 1 ply of the napkin. So we're going to set those aside here for a second because I want to get this one painted up. This one I'm going to paint the background because this is very white and we're only using pieces of it. And if I would to Mod Podge that on here, it wouldn't match because this color is just way off. So I always like to paint my backgrounds, you know, with whatever color the background of the napkins are. So just quickly here, let me find a brush I want to use. I guess I can just use one of these big ones here. I'm just going to take some of this home decor chalk paint, and I'm just going to paint this whole center here. It doesn't matter if you mess up a little bit because I'm going to go around the rim and sponge on some of this red I thought would match this one really good. And then on the fall one with the pumpkins, I'm going to go around the edging and do this monarch orange and chalk paint. You can use whatever colors you want. And then I have this Spanish moss color I want to use on the one with the kitty cats. So that is all the stuff pretty much I'm using. You're going to need something to cut out your images if you want to cut them out. I do them with my watercolor brush, and I'll show you guys how I do that for anybody who hasn't seen me do that. But first, I'm just going to take some of this paint. I'm not even going to dump this out because I'm not going to need very much of it, and I'm just going to go on here, and I don't even need to go up on this top piece much, and if it gets on there, it doesn't matter because we're going to edge this with that red when we're done. But I just want to kind of get all these brush strokes going in the same direction. And there goes a nice lovely garbage truck outside to make some noise for us. It's always something going by this house, I swear. But that's it. I'm going to probably put 2 coats on here. Don't need to go up the edges, like I said, because we're going to color that in with the red. But I just want this background to be nice and white. And I think I want to paint this a different color. I may paint this a gold or a silver, because this is a Christmas decoration. I don't know. I'm going to get this on here first, and then I'll decide that very last is what I'm going to say, to see what it, you know, what goes best with it. But anyway, that's it. I'm just going to paint that up. We're going to let that dry, and then I will go ahead and put another coat on there and smooth that out nice. So we have a nice white background for our napkin. Alright, so let me set that guy back there out of our way so he can dry. So now for these, I'll show you how I cut those out when we get to that one. Let me stick that in the water here before I forget. So let's see, this is the one I've been already cutting out for that one, so I'll show you on that one how I cut them out in a minute for anybody who hasn't seen me do that. Alright, so now these, I'm just going to literally just Mod Podge these right on here. You want to stand your thing up, especially the round one when you're putting your image on, to make sure you're getting it straight on here. Let me get some Mod Podge in a little dish here. Alright. And I think I want to put just a little bit in the center here to get this started. I don't really like to put Mod Podge underneath my images in case I don't get it in the exact spot that I want it. And I have my fan on in here, which is going to be really challenging. Alright, so let me try to line this up. I want that pumpkin sign to show on this one. Now it doesn't have to cover your edges perfect because we're going to go around it with that paint. But I think that'll be good right there. And that'll give me enough so I can cover up the edges. So we're just going to stick that on in the middle there. And then we'll file all the edges off that stick over it. We'll just file those off when we're done. With a nail file, that's what I use for these. But see, I already got a wrinkle in there trying to stick it on this way. Alright, so that is where this one's going to be. So let's try to get this one smoothed out here with my fan blowing. We'll see how challenging that's going to be. And I'm not too concerned on how it looks on the edge, because like I said, we're going to go over that with some paint. So just want to try to smooth these out. It's kind of good to start in the center and just work your way out, and then it kind of all will smooth out for you. You want to get a lot down in here because you want that to go up over your edge a little bit. Try to get that to stick in the corner too. But there's just so many pretty napkins out there. Alright, that looks pretty smoothed out. Just want to make sure you have a lot of Mod Podge on there when you're going so you don't tear your napkin as you're pressing out your little creases and whatnot. There we go. Because once these get wet, they're really fragile, so you don't want to be tugging on them too much once you get them soaked in the Mod Podge. Alright, I think that one's pretty much on there, so make sure I get around this edge good. And these corners good. And you're probably going to end up with I just ripped that one, a couple of good wrinkles here and there. But I'm going to try to fix this here. I just pulled see, we go over it too many times. I like to show my mistakes too, guys. So we're just going to fill that in with some of that blue when this dries. But that's what happens when you go over it too many times. So anyway, alright, I'm going to leave this one be now because I'm just messing it up. But I'll show you. We can fix that. It's not a big deal. It's just up where the blue is and some of that hay stuff. So we will fix that right up after that dries a little bit. We're just going to take a piece off of here. off of this one and we'll just match it right in so you'll never even notice it. Easy peasy. Alright, so now to get our kitty on here. This one's going to be more challenging because it's round. But I love this napkin. I've held onto this napkin for a couple years now. And so let's see. I think that's good right about there. Look. Alright, let's see. Let's see if we can get this on here nice. And remind me not to go over it too many times. Now, this one's going to be a little more challenging with the creases because it's round. But this is really easy to do. Once you get the hang of doing decoupage, there's nothing to it. It's just things like this with these curves and things are just a little bit more of a challenge. You want it to go up in here nice. And you could try to cut this out in a circle if you wanted to, but I think we'll get it on here. That's working out pretty good. Brush strokes to kind of go all in the same direction. I thought this round one was going to be more difficult than the other one, but actually this one was a little bit easier than the square one, if that makes any sense. Alright, so we're going to let this dry now, and I'll show you how I get all of these edges cut off. I just want to make sure I got all of this glue up in here. Alright, so we're just going to, I think I can let that stand and dry. This may take a while to dry. I might have to get out my heat gun because it is so humid. Let's see all those brush strokes. There we go. That's going to be cute. I love this napkin. And you can make 4 of them out of one napkin. That's the cool part of it. These are really inexpensive decorations to make or gifts, whatever you want to do with these. They're pretty cool. Alright, so now for the truck one. Let me see, is this dry yet? Alright, I'll do that off camera and we'll let that dry. To cut out all my little images, I cut out a bunch of these out of that napkin. I had cut out one with the truck. I cut out, oops, where'd it go? This is the one that says Home for the Holidays, so I just cut out that little piece. I cut out a few of the little trees and some of the little holly berries and stuff for that one. And I'll just show you guys real quick how I do that. When you get down to your single ply here, let's see, say we want to cut out one of these little trees. This is hard to do with this fan on, but if I don't have this fan on, I'm going to melt in here today. Alright, I take my water pen. If you don't have a watercolor brush, actually it's not a water pen, but you can get these at Dollar Tree, you can get these at like Joann's or anywhere pretty much. But you can just use a regular paintbrush and some water. If you don't have one of these, it works the same. But this is how I cut out my images. I just go around it with some water and then just put your finger over top. Make sure you cannot see your image at all, because if you can, you're going to rip it. And then you're just going to cut around it real quick with something. This is a little spatula that came in with some paintbrushes I got. You could use a plastic knife. You could use like a nickel. Anything with like a nice little flat edge to it. But that's all you do. You just keep spinning it around and pulling away. Just like I said, you got to keep your finger over top of the whole image, because if you can see any of it, it's going to pull away. And there you go. That is how I cut out. Where'd you go? Come back. And these little jagged edges, when you paint them on, they just blend in so much nicer with your background paint than if you have like cut straight edges. Some people are really good at tearing them out. I am not, so I do it this way. But that's it. That's how you cut out all these little doodads. Alright, so let me go ahead and, oh, I need to cut out that other piece. I'll show you how I'm going to fix this little guy here since I messed him up. Alright, so I need to find one that's the same side, this one here. Get this apart. Oops, I think I peeled it over here, didn't I? Yep. Alright, I thought I had this one separated. Alright, there we go. Whoops. Oh, you know what? I got glue on this before, so I got this one all messed up already. Alright, there we go. I'm just going to peel those 2 layers off, and I need this piece right up in here. I am just going to tear some of that out of here. Let's see, whereabouts is it? Let me pull this back over here so I can look at it. Alright, whoops. Go underneath. Alright, so we're just going to need a little bit from right up in here. So this is how you fix a boo-boo. In case you happen to do the same thing. So I'm just going to cut a piece of this out. I may have to cut it a little smaller. It doesn't go over that far, so I don't need all of this. But we're just going to rip some of this out here real quick. And this piece, I am going to figure out how to fix this. Alright, since I ripped some of those off. Okay, let's see. Don't think I need all that either. Alright, let me hold this up here to my face here and I'll show you in a second. Alright, right there I stuck it down. You never know what happened, except you guys will know what happens. Don't tell anyone. And I'm just going to go over that little piece there that we're putting in, and it's just going to blend right in there, and you will never know you made a boo-boo. So if you do tear your napkin, which I know a lot of people would have probably just cut this out of the video and did it over again, but you know what? It happens, so you know, I like to show you guys what to do if you mess up like I just did. So there you go. So that piece is all matched back up in there, and you never know that that was torn off. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to paint that other one there. I got to wait for these to dry before we can do any more. And I need to leave this alone now before I end up ripping it again. I just want to straighten out a little bit of those wrinkles. Alright, we're done playing with this. Alright, there we go. Fixed my boo-boo. You never know. Alright, so let me give that another coat of the white paint here, and then we're going to start decoupaging on our trucks, and then all we have to do is our borders and my bottom color here. Alright, those are dry and nice. I got the second coat on here, it's all dry, so now I can put on my little truck images. So I think I'm going to start with this Home for the Holidays sign. I want that right at the top here in the center. So I think I better start with that first. So these are easy. The little pieces are really easy to decoupage on. They take no time at all. And you usually end up with like 0 wrinkles with these little bitty pieces. But there you go. That's just how easy that is to get that on there. Alright. And then I think I'm going to get this truck down here, because I want this kind of over here, I think. Because I want to put my other Christmas trees over there. So we're going to get the truck lined up. I kind of need him to come out straight too. So let's see. Alright, that looks pretty good right there. Let's try that. Oops, I think there's a piece tucked underneath. Yep. Alright. Alright, so there is our truck and our little tree. then I want to put one of these trees down here. I had all this set out nicely and my fan is blowing it all over the place. You want to make sure, because I kind of got a piece stuck under the other one, make sure all your edges are nice and flat before you start. Nothing's tucked underneath. Alright, tree there. And then I'm going to put another tree up in here. It's kind of like it's up in the background. Put that one up there. And I figured I'd take a couple of these little holly pieces and put these up in the corners, like right here. Alright, my brush strokes all going in the same direction. And I'm going to put my last little holly leaf up here. In this corner. Now these will come out really nice bright colors once this Mod Podge dries. It looks kind of faded and dull right now, but once that dries, the images come out really, really pretty. Alright. Make sure I got some Mod Podge all around this thing here. It's all the same color when it dries. Alright, we're going to let these little guys dry. Just trying to tap out a couple little wrinkles I see. And I think that will be good. Alright, let's leave this be now to dry. Alright, I'm going to set him back here. And now for this guy, these are all dry. This one I already took the edges all off that were sticking out. And I left this one, let me cover this Mod Podge up so I can put it away after. I left this one so I could show you. I just get these nail files from Dollar Tree, and then whatever's hanging off here, you know, you make sure you got it all glued down good on the edge. You just take a nail file like that, and it will just peel that right off of there for you and give you a nice straight line. And I want to get a little bit off the top here because we're going to go around with our color. But that's it. It comes off just nice like that, so you don't have to worry about fitting it exactly when you're doing it, because you can just trim it all off when you're done. And I think that's good enough because we're going to put our borders on these. And you won't see any of that stuff when we're all done. But that's it. That's how easy that is to get that off of there. So now I need some of my paints for... I don't like using these because I have a problem of sticking the wrong brush in the wrong color. But we're going to see if we can do this without messing up. I don't have a lot of this orange left. Come on. There we go. So this is for our pumpkin one here. And then we're going to use this green for our kitty cats, or whatever color you want. I've got to get on the hunt for paints before it gets any closer to the holidays, because once it gets into fall and Christmas time, it's hard to find these colors. So now I need one of my little sponge brushes here. Actually, I'm going to need 3 of them. You're just going to want these little ones. You can use bigger ones. You just have to be really, really careful if you're using a bigger sponge brush. But alright, let's start here with this little guy. So we're just going to dip our paint in here. I'm just going to go down the edge like this real quick just to get a little bit of that paint off. And then we're just going to tap this around the edge. And you're going to go down so it meets where you left off with your napkin. So that'll kind of all blend in, and we're just going to go all the way around and tap this down with our brush to give it a nice, kind of a, it doesn't have to be perfect, it's just, you know, it's a, just kind of like an old-fashioned painted on border. It would have been easier if this napkin was just a tiny bit bigger, but we're going to make this work. It's going to be fine. And I'll probably do 2 coats, especially around where the napkin edges are. So, whoops, way too much paint on there. So just want to get it down so it's on the, covers up your space between the napkin and the edge. And now this edge is all the way down, but you know, you're just going to go across this so it matches. And that I may not even have to go over again, so we'll just leave that be. But I do think I will here because of the white. Maybe not. It might be okay with just 1 coat. I think we might be able to do that. Alright, so there is our, whoops, I need to go around this top here a little bit more so it looks nice on the edge. Down this side here, and I just stuck my thumb in the top, so I'm going to have to go back over that. Oh, the joys. There we go. Alright, let me touch up there where I stuck my thumb. Alright, all better. So there is our pumpkin plaque. Alright, so now I'm going to put this orange away before I mess up. And then we're going to grab this green and we're going to go around the kitty cats, make sure this paint's dry on my fingers. Go around the kitty kitties. These guys, this is so cute. See, I put it in the wrong color already, guys. You saw me do that too, right? You probably went, alright, that's why I don't like using these. I like using separate ones. I do that all the time. Alright, so now I'm going to have to wash me out of sponge brush so I can use it on the other one. And that's just going to cover up that white edge. And you wouldn't even have to do this. If you have a napkin that's a little bit bigger or something that'll fit over there, you wouldn't even have to go around the edges. But none of these were quite the right size, so and then after this gets good and dry, all you need to do is just go over it, because this is chalk paint, and the chalk paint just sticks better to this porcelain stuff and to glass than just regular acrylic. And then I'm just going to go over that with a little bit of the Mod Podge, because, you know, the chalk paint's a real matte finish and everything else on here is real shiny, so I think I'll just go over that with a light coat of Mod Podge. There, so now you can't see that the napkin didn't fit. It looks perfect. And then you can go around your edge a little bit more if you want some more on the outer edge, however you want to do it. There we go, and there's the kitty cats. Alright, let's sit you guys down here, don't fall. Sit you guys down here to dry. And then I gotta wait for that guy there to finish drying, and we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around the edge of this one with that green, no, with that red. I'm lying. I want to do this one in red, and then actually I can probably paint that bottom piece now while we're waiting for that to finish drying. I found some of this. This is metallic paints. It's deco art. I think I got this at Michael's. You can find this stuff anywhere, the metallic paints, but this is called Splendid Gold, and I thought that would look good with the red. So let me get this thing shook up here. There we go. And this stuff is really pretty. I'm not going to need much of that at all. Just give me a little brush here, and I'm sure I'm going to have to do a couple coats of that down here. So I just want this piece, you know, because it's a separate looking little piece here. I just wanted that. I thought would look pretty with this metallic gold. But yeah, definitely going to need a couple coats of that on here. think that'll look real pretty. Yep, that's going to take at least 2 or 3 coats of the metallic. But, alright, so we're going to let that dry, and then we are going to come back and finish this up. I'm just going to probably just go around this like I did all the other ones, just with my sponge brush. Just go around this here and let it dry just so I can show you how these all look all nice and finished. Alright guys, the edging is all done. I put another coat down here on the bottom. I think that's good enough for this one, but I think that came out really cute. I love it, I love it, I love it. This is like probably my favorite just because I really love this napkin with these little kitty cats on here. And then of course this one for fall is really nice. These would look great on a tiered tray or just up on a shelf, whatever you want to do with them. Make a cute little gift for somebody. But I will take a nice picture of these and put at the end here without all this mess in the background. And that is it. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I will see you guys all next time. Have a great day, everyone.